How's it going, everyone? After multiple big weeks of huge game releases from Black Myth Wukong, Star Wars Outlaws, Warhammer Space Marine 2, so on and so forth, we've just had Juggernaut game releases after Juggernaut game releases, Astrobot as well, throw that in there. I guess you could look at this coming week to be a little bit more quiet, but I still gotta say, while it's not filled with a lot of quantity, quality is certainly here. We got a notable title that's a PlayStation Plus Extra Day 1 quote-unquote freebie. We've got a remaster that is really more than a remaster. We've got some DLC that I'm looking forward to, and some smaller games as well. A lot of options here as far as the games that are dropping, and a pretty surprising port to PlayStation 4 that'll finally be dropping, which I am curious with, but we'll talk about that at the end of this video. Right off the top, let's get right into it, and let's start things off with what I think is the biggest game release of this week. That is Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. An emphasis on the word deluxe, because we get a lot of game remasters these days, but Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, really, they could promote this as a remake and I wouldn't have too much of a problem with it. This is Dead Rising 1 rebuilt using the RE engine, and the graphical leaps from this game from the original 2006 release is quite sizable, so incredibly excited about this, along with quality of life improvements. Dead Rising returns with modern graphics. More than just a remaster, this deluxe remaster is a full graphical overhaul of the first game in zombie slaughtering action game series, Dead Rising. This remaster has also been fully voiced, it supports autosaves, and has various other quality of life features. Witness the unmatched mayhem and freedom for yourself. The game's story takes place in Colorado. It found itself put under quarantine by the US Army. You play as Frank West, a freelance journalist who smells a scoop and finds his way into the only shopping mall in town, and unfortunately the mall had turned into living hell, crawling with countless zombies. Help will arrive in 72 hours, so it's up to him to find out the truth behind this incident before it's too late. You've got realistic graphics reborn through the RE engine. All of the graphics, including the characters and environments, have been renewed and greatly improved over the original. Characters' facial expressions, material textures, and blood spatter all look much more realistic. Overwhelming hordes of zombies fill the screen with completely remade graphics. You've got smoother and friendlier gameplay. The gameplay of the original remains intact at its core, but there are various quality of life improvements, auto-saving, revamped controls, improved UI, and many other details. The game is also now fully voiceovered, and the game offers a lot of freedom. It's 72 hours in game time, works out to about 5 minutes per hour, but you can do whatever you want to do throughout playing the game. The game takes place in a gigantic shopping mall. Use regular weapons like guns and baseball bats, or use daily household objects. Anything goes. When it comes to survival, rescue other survivors and try out some new clothes while you're at it. Just remember that under these extreme circumstances, it's not just zombies but psychopaths you'll have to deal with as well, who poses the biggest threat, zombies or the humans themselves. The game's also got replayability via the Infinity mode, which is an endless horde style of game. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster is due out on September the 19th. Next up, we got a notable game dropping on PlayStation Plus Extra Day 1, and that is All Possible Futures and Devolver Digital's The Plucky Squire. An incredibly charming title that's a bit of a throwback. Storybook characters discover a three-dimensional world outside the pages of their book and must jump between 2D and 3D realms to save their friends in this charming action and adventure title. The game is slated to be $29.99 outside of PlayStation Plus Extra, but it's baked into Plus Extra if you are a subscriber, although these days Plus Extra has left a lot to be desired. So no slight to you guys if you decided to unsubscribe, but for $29.99 you are getting what's noted to be an 8 to 10 hour campaign, and the Plucky Squire itself follows the magical adventures of Jot and his friends, storybook characters who discover a three-dimensional world when the malevolent Humgrump realizes he's the villain of the book, destined to lose his battle against the forces of good for all eternity. He kicks the heroic Jot out of its pages and changes the story forever. Jot now must face challenges unlike anything he's ever seen if he's to save his friends from Humgrump's dark forces and restore the book's happy ending. Jump between 2D and 3D worlds in this charming action adventure, solving puzzles, boxing badgers, flying with a jetpack, and enjoying many more delightful and surprising mini challenges as you become the hero of a living storybook. They put out some basic notes to be aware of: 8 to 10 hours for the main story playthrough, $29.99 digital price with comparable regional pricing, 2 difficulty modes, and additional difficulty assist options will be available as well, catering the game to a wide array of players. The Plucky Squire, again, will be available day 1 on PlayStation Plus Extra, and the official release is on September the 17th. Next up, I do want to give you guys a heads up that a game that I really enjoyed earlier this year, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, will be getting its Mask of Darkness DLC. Now, this is a narrative piece of DLC that is coming to Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and I really enjoyed Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Look, I've been quite critical of Ubisoft as a whole, but when they drop a high-quality game, I gotta give them credit, and Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was a really well-done Metroidvania-style game. Solid narrative, solid soundtrack, the visuals were aesthetically pleasing, and just an enjoyable game all around. Had a great time with it, and now you're gonna be getting more content with the Mask of Darkness DLC. They do know Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown's tale of monsters, mythology, and immortals left one conspicuous thread unresolved: the fate of the mysterious masked immortal. In the Mask of Darkness DLC, you'll discover a new chapter of Sargon's story as you confront the myriad dangers of Rajan's Mind Palace, but the new DLC is much more than a story expansion, opening up a whole new biome with fresh traversal elements, traps, enemies, and more. This is going to expand your gameplay options as well, with nimble new threats and new ways to get around as well. If you haven't played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, I'd recommend picking it up. Probably look to get it on sale, but overall the game was a very enjoyable action Metroidvania title. Some very, very difficult boss battles as well, but very stylish gameplay. Some of the puzzles were fairly intricately done, and some good platforming elements as well. So be on the lookout for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown's DLC, The Mask of Darkness. Next up, we got the Karate Kid Street Rumble. Dominate the dojo in the Karate Kid Street Rumble, a pixel art beat-em-up adventure. Grab your kids for local co-op multiplayer and dive into the classic Karate Kid journey with retro-style gameplay, dynamic combat, and epic boss battles. Very much a throwback beat-em-up style game with old-school visuals. The Karate Kid Street Rumble is out September 20th. Next up, we got Broken Sword: Shadow of the Templars Reforged. The classic multi-award-winning adventure Broken Sword: The Shadow of the Templars returns with glorious 4K visuals and iconic remastered audio, pitching intrepid American George Staubert and fearless journalist Nico Collard into a journey of perilous adventures and ancient conspiracies. A point-and-click, narrative-driven title, Broken Sword: Shadow of the Templars Reforged, is out September 19th. Next up, we have a brand new action Souls-like title in Enotria: The Last Song. Enotria: The Last Song is a Souls-like set in a beautiful sunlit world inspired by Italian folklore, where the brightest sun casts the darkest shadow, where unique role-altering masks face formidable foes and alter reality with the power of Ardor to unravel the secrets of Enotria. Obviously, we got a lot of games within the genre, and really a big element that does set these games apart is a lot of the presentation choices, and this one does have a pretty interesting one. The game does know 3 main regions, 40 plus hours of gameplay, and over 100 different enemies. Enotria is a beautiful sunlit land inspired by Italian nature that hides dark secrets behind its bright facades, and it's up to you to unravel the mysteries of this stunning world. Many masks, but one foe. Don your fallen foe's mask to take on their roles, enabling new ways to play, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Swap between up to 3 customizable loadouts at any time, 68 skills, unlockable perks with 150 plus million different build combinations to go through. Alright, that's probably, you know, like how many of those are you really going to take advantage of? But as far as permutations, there's going to be quite a lot, and you'll be able to expand your playstyle options through a unique pool of talents in the Path of Innovators. Slot talents into masks to create custom builds on a single screen. Enotria: The Last Song is out September 18th. And lastly, we have the PlayStation 4 release of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Very curious to see how this is going to end up running. I don't know how much people are going to be interested in a last-gen version of Jedi Survivor, but, you know, Star Wars as an IP is huge, and if there's a PS4 audience that wants to check the game out, you'll have the opportunity to do so. I love Jedi Survivor. It was one of my favorite games of 2023. I just don't know how many people are going to be looking forward to a PS4 version, and the game already had its technical limitations on modern platforms. Getting it to run on PS4 and X1 is going to be very interesting, but that'll do it for me. Again, while lighter in terms of quantity of game release this week, I think with Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, the Plucky Squire, there's a lot of options in terms of games and quality games at that. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.